Good morning, you guys. It's your girl Angel. Like and subscribe down below. Um, Today, what's on my mind to kick it with y'all about is how my things that I went through as a child and my upbringing helped me make decisions as a parent when I became a parent. Did I make all the great decisions in the world? Nobody does. But let's get into it. Yes, honey. So, I had a colorful childhood, so to speak. Like, that's why I call it, because it was like stages. Like, I very much as a child felt alone, unheard. I definitely was abused in different aspects, physically, mentally, and sexually abused. As a child, I grew up back in the days where kids were seen and not heard. So I feel like I didn't have a voice or a personality of my own, really, because I wasn't allowed to be a human being. In my opinion, this is my childhood that I'm talking about. So, yes, don't, for any family members that get on here, don't get sensitive. This is my truth. But neither here or there. Just wanted to get that side note. You know how people are. You know how people get into their feelings. But anyway, my mother had me at a young age. I think it was 15, 16, something like that, 16. And of course, at 16, you don't know how to be a parent. Plus, she came from an abusive household with a lot of brothers and sisters, and she was adopted into an abusive household when she got adopted. So that is what helped me get to know my mother when I became as a person and understand not that what decision she made was right, but it was only decisions that she knew, and understand where she was coming from and who she is as a person. That's why I say over and over again that forgiveness is important, because when I didn't forgive her, I was very mentally messed up. Like, my life was worse than this. Like, I was in the mental home for a minute. Like, I was gone. Like, kept on just spazzing out because of the hurt. But the abandonment issues. And the things that we didn't see I just let go, because my truth is my truth, period. So neither here or there. I was abused. I took it from house to house. First I was with my grandma, and then she met her family, and I felt like I was just threw into a life with strangers. And so I didn't feel safe, or nor than I felt like I had no control. Like, you already don't have control as a kid, but now you threw into a situation where you don't know people, and you don't know what they're capable of or not capable of. Now, then I lived with my auntie, and that was very, very abusive. And even though my mom lived in the household with us, she wasn't there. And and my auntie, my other two cousins was living there too. And, you know, I was called hoes, bitches, sluts. I was hit on for no reason. I was smacked. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was already being bullied from kids. So now this whole nother situation. I was around my newfound family that never got along. They had little car parties or whatever you call it, and they was always arguing, ready to fight. So it's like, yeah, toxic all the way around. So I ended up like being brought up in a toxic environment everywhere I went. And then my grandma was my escape, but she not here no longer. My grandma's house was my escape. My grandma was middle class, so, and she was more common. I was like spoiled over there. So it kind of like had me in a mental space. Like I was used to not being unstable. I was used to going place to place. I went to several schools, several schools. Okay. I don't even remember how many elementary schools. I went to several schools. Okay. So I never got used to any places, people, or things for real. My auntie also was a pill popper. So, you know, I learned at a young age how drugs affect people because she was nice when she came from the house on the corner. Get. Now, I don't know. But I wasn't no dumb child like everybody thought I was. So I was like, because they always said I was the looks and my sister was the brains or whatever. You see how people just put you in, you know, put titles on you and you have no control over it? That ain't what you do to kids at all. Then I also, you know, was molested at a young age. And this is what I want y'all to know too. Let's stop telling our kids that, you know, just telling them about stranger danger. It's more than over 60% of the time abuse is going to come from people they know, from family members, from friends of the family. Almost, I would say 75% of the time, especially with molestation, it comes with somebody they know. We need to educate our kids more on, first of all, we need to educate ourselves more and then educate our kids more about strangers don't always come spooky. They don't always look like, oh, this is what this person is here for. Most likely, they not gonna look like that. When the devil got kicked out of heaven, he was the prettiest angel in heaven. So all this narrative that everybody that's bad, you know, look crazy or look bad, that is not true at all. So let's stop playing with that. Now, going back to what I was talking about is, so neither here nor there, it was a family member. Not going to get into details. So then, my grandma passed when I was 23, 24, but see, I didn't really, I want to say 23, but I was like so sheltered, even though like I was abused and everything. A lot of people that get abused, they fend for themselves, and I fend for myself a lot in certain positions, like in certain situations, like far as I was made to grow up quicker than other kids, like far as knowing how to run a household. And my mother had some issues, so I, of course, had to grow up quick. And back in that day, they tried to make the older siblings parents, and no, it's not their kids. But neither here or there. I didn't know anything about really standing on my own, like for real, when it came to bills and things of that sort. Because my grandma and my mom always gave me money, and like I didn't know how to be like responsible. A lot of people was helping me with my first child, but this is how it tied into how I chose to be a parent. I had to make a lot of hard decisions, as we all do, being a parent. But I was determined for my kids to not feel what I felt as a child, which was unheard, not having, didn't know who I was, didn't have a voice, scared, abused, ignorant, and just unstable. So some of the hard decisions I made as a parent was when I seen that I was going to be unstable in certain parts of my life because I didn't heal from my childhood. I had to make hard decisions with letting people help me raise my kids, but I didn't do exactly what was done to me. What I did was I kept a close eye on my kids, because I know when a close eye was not kept on me, the things that happened to me. So I took time with my kids. Like when it was my time to have my kids, like nothing mattered in the world. Like I took time to listen to them. I let them, communicate with me in whatever way felt healthy for them, as long as they wasn't disrespectful. They're not disrespectful. They could communicate. They could talk to me about anything. We sit there. We have a round table. We talk. We kick it. I made sure I took time. I do arts and crafts with my kids. I have Mother and Son Day, daughter and Mother Day. I spend a lot of quality. And my mama took me places. Don't get me wrong. But I do it extra because I'm trying to get that time together. So, kids gonna always have their complaints. Not saying that. And this is my story. And so what I'm saying is I did my best to make sure that I corrected the things that couldn't be corrected in my life. I made sure that they could make the decision, like far as when my son was like, he's 23 now. So when he was like, I say 13, maybe 14, he had a talk with me. He was just saying how he didn't want to go to church and what he feel about church and why he didn't want to go. He made some good statements because, for the simple fact, I always told my kids, if you feel some type of way about something, give me a summary of why you feel that way. Make some valid points. Do your due diligence. So he did so. And I was like, okay, fine. So I didn't drag him somewhere he didn't want to be. I let him make the decision so he could feel like he could make that decision of what he wanted to do spiritually when he grows up. Because see, when you made and beat into a religion and it's beat over your head, you don't know whether that's something you believe in or just something you was made to believe in. And I didn't want them to go through that. He knew what he knows that Bible inside out. He knows how to pray. He has the tools. I still had church like in the house when I got from church. I still prayed with him. I still studied with him, to let him know, this is what the words say. I also gave him outlooks on other religions because I want him to have the information that he needs to make a great choice. And because of that, he feels open to discuss things with me that he wouldn't have felt safe to talk about. Far as with my daughter, she had a lot of friends that went through depression and things like that. And I made it like, she go through her things sometimes. I don't know what exactly, I don't think it's depression, but what I'm saying is that she knows she could talk to me about it. She have talked to me about different situations that she see and ask me questions openly about my depression and what depression looks like. And I tell her exactly what it looks like and how it affects your brain matter and your levels in your brain and everything. I give her like things to study so she can know more about it. And another thing I did, when I was at a low point in my life, and even now, like I'm unstable or whatever, like far as going from house to house, I don't drag my kids through my shit. I refuse. I don't care how I look. I don't care, oh, dang, I don't care if, I'm not going to be one of them parents that be like, care so much how I look that I'm going to drag my kids from shelter to shelter and house from house. I'm not doing that. I don't like it. I made sure they were stable. I don't give a damn about me. I made sure they were stable. So one of the hardest decisions I had to make is for my daughter to go live with her godmama. But she has a great godmother or whatever. And I see her very often. And she spend nights and stuff with me and stuff like that. So I'm still there. I'm constantly, I have always been at my kids' parent-teacher conferences, games, all that stuff. I'm very, very into their life. And we do video calls and everything. Like, I felt like it was very important for me to be present. So every single time that I'm with them, I'm very present. I put what I have to do to the side. I can't go over nobody's house that's getting lit. I got my kids. I got something to do. I don't want them around that. I made it my kids come first. They're my lifeline. They come first. They well-being, their mental stability, their emotional stability, their spiritual stability is very important to me. So I ask them several questions. I make sure they're not in those situations. I do pop-ups. I dance, have fun with them. And I remember the times my mama, that's like one of my good memories or whatever. And my mama was fun. When she was around, she was fun, like for real. And she used to dance with me and stuff like that. That's where I got my dancing and stuff from. And I do that with my kids. So I take the good and I correct the bad or the things that made me feel uncomfortable. That's what I do as a parent. So, my son or whatever, I had him go to therapy, things like that. I made sure with his speech thing that he had growing up, that he stayed in speech classes, speech therapy or whatever. I see a problem, and I felt like this was not done for me. I see a problem, and I correct it. I don't care what I'm going through. I see a problem, and I correct it. immediately. I see something they like to do or they take a lot of time with, and I grow it. I water it. Like, oh, you like drawing? Okay, here go a whole bunch of sketchbooks. Let's see what we could look up to help you. Oh, you like doing hair? Oh, let's see what classes they got. My son took computer classes. My daughter done took hair classes. She draws. She got mini sketchbooks. I sent her dance training videos. She go to dance classes, all that stuff. Whatever they're interested in, I water, because I feel like if that was done to me, I'll be somewhere different in life. I was great at computers when I was younger. If a computer was brought for me, and it could have been, they wouldn't pay. It could have been, but instead, they didn't know how to, because they were still doing what they was taught. And this is my view on the whole thing. Let's do our due diligence. The things that hurt us or that was issues in our life, let's correct it as we grow. Let's be better. Let's be more vigilant. Let's be more knowledgeable of the things that we could do to make sure it don't happen to the generations coming after us. And I hope that my kids be even greater parents than I was, because I want them, and they will be, because they will be stable and they will have great jobs. They will be where they need to be creative wise, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Just because of the little bitty, well, really big changes I made, and I was determined to make. I don't care how much I was running the street. I don't care how much I was going through mentally. I made it a point to be better. And I feel like every generation should be better than where they came from. Don't let where you came from have you stagnant. Grow. Water. Forgive. Heal. Understand. Give your kids a voice. They're still human beings. Just because they're kids, they deserve to have a voice. It helps them know who they really are. Don't keep them stagnant and where you want them to be and what you want them to do. Let them breathe. Trust the things that you put into them and you taught them. And trust that they will be the people that you like you taught them to be. And the things that they teach themselves and they see and they learn lessons from, they will put that together and they'll be okay. You have to trust that. It have to be some point as a parent that you have to let go and just pray. Because these are not just these not toys. These are human beings. You cannot sit up there and just you cannot do the dictating parenting. It does not work. All right, y'all. Peace.